So just to inform you all that our meetings are going to be recorded now and put up on YouTube. So get ready to be a star because they're so riveting. So just this is this lovely microphone camera, and it will find your voice and put you front and center whenever you're talking. So I'm super excited about it.
Can it find you, or are you safe?
Oh, I'm safe. No, they can find me. It's a 360.
Now? Are we being recorded now?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
That's got my face.
So that's super fun. So we will call the meeting to order and ask for citizen comments, which there are no citizens here. So I guess we'll move on to our agenda. Bonnie has so graciously printed off our former agenda, our meeting minutes. So if y'all will take a second to look at that and take action.
I motion to approve minutes.
Okay. Do we have a
Second.
Second, thank you, Amy. Okay, so minutes are approved. Amy, you're gonna have to help me on that. Okay, second thing would be provide update on committee status. I haven't heard anything new. Bonnie hasn't heard anything new. We're just gonna move forward like we've always moved forward. I think it's the best thing. Improve our worth through our work. So it'll just be there, and we will, if I hear anything, I'll let you all know. I'm having another board or chair meeting in October with all the board chairs, so if I hear anything more, I'll let you all know. Provide update and discuss timeline and logistics for artist exchange.
We have a proposal.
Okay.
Hold on, let me get my reading glasses.
The tentative of next week is clearly not happening.
But we worked on
I assume
this because we have a new direction to
Yes.
go and
that we're much more excited about.
that we're very excited about. So let me present that to the group. So first of all, we'd like to discuss the possibility of a new name rather than artist interchange. We'd like to discuss artist exchange. Exchange meaning give something and receive something of the same kind in return. So it would now be the Farmers Branch Artist Exchange. This would be an opportunity for artists that live or work in Farmers Branch to collaborate on events, projects, or promotion. The mission is to connect local artists with resources within our community and build a network of support for commercial, private, and public art. The goal is to create a calendar of events as well as local artist meetup opportunities. The resources that we feel we would need would be a public gathering space, 2 to 3 committee members to check in attendees and moderate the event. Also, this could be a possibility. We could partner with the local restaurant to provide refreshments or space, and the attendees would purchase refreshments at the venue. The attendees would pre-register for the event if they would like to present a project that needs additional support or even just promotion or attendance. Determined by the number of pre-registrations, presenters would have between 3 to 5 minutes to propose or announce their project and ask for their needs or wants. The presenters could have a sign-up or contact info for anyone who wishes to follow up. So I'd like to give you an example. An example might be a local artist has a show and you would like live music. They could hire one of our local musicians to play at their event. Both the artist and the musician would then promote the event and double their attraction. Another example might be the firehouse needs scenic painting for a set. The local artist could be hired to volunteer for this project, and then both can promote the project on their social media platforms. The goal would be to engage the arts community with each other and raise awareness of our growing numbers within the city and the value of collaboration. As members of the committee, we would also seek to increase enrollment on the artist database and be mindful of opportunities for local artists to participate in city events.
I love it.
That's impressive.
Really impressive.
Do
Feels
you
like there's a
think you can
mission.
send me that?
Yes.
Yeah, in an email, I would love.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
like-
like, I'm right,
Yeah, we did it in a Word doc, so. that
I'd
we
love
could-
it. If you can send it as an email, I would love to
Right,
have
Ellen's
that.
gonna do that right now.
Thank you.
I like one of the spins of this being that it potentially involves businesses as well, and not just the artist thing. Now to be creative about how we get the people there, because, I think through this, and, we, at the theater, we get weird requests all the time about like, hey, do you have somebody that could come entertain in this way? And sometimes we're able to fill the requests, sometimes we aren't. So I know those kind of requests are out there of businesses that would be interested in like realizing, oh, this musician lives here, which frankly, usually would probably be a lot more available for their needs rather than, us at theater where they think, I can send a guitar player. No, not always. But I think that's really interesting with this, of actually involving more people and more properties. And then we talked about timeline for this, really shooting for early next year, Q1 or early Q2. We kind of talked about how sometimes right after the holidays, it feels like stuff slows down for a bit, so maybe even in January,
Like,
kind of going for this.
yeah,
could
right
be
after the
really
holidays.
great.
Mhm.
But we will, Amy and I will continue to, I'll get this to y'all and you can distribute it as necessary, but we'll continue to fine tune this and really try to nail down a time.
And we talked about possibilities for venues. Obviously, one would be the firehouse, another would be here at the rec center. We could do a meetup at the Mansky. There's a lot of different locations within the city that we could schedule this. And this could be a sort of thing that rotates too. It could be a different location. We could do one at the historical park, just so that A, we're reaching as broad a group as possible, and B, kind of highlighting different facilities.
Fantastic.
I love it. I was even thinking, I was a part of 500X Gallery in Deep Ellum, or when it was in Deep Ellum. Exposition Park. Anyway, we would have a DJ there at every opening. Just happened to be my husband, but still, they then always wanted to have one once I left, and they just couldn't find somebody who fit that type of vibe and music that they wanted. And I know there were a lot of artists who wanted performers, like dancers with their interactive performance art. So I was even wondering, like, could we invite people outside of Farmers Branch that are very heavily connected to the arts, like galleries or something like that, that they're still using Farmers Branch people,
I think that's
that might
what-
help open
yeah.
up attendance.
Yeah.
I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So maybe we think really big on this first one and do the big ask and see what happens and
Mhm.
keep going from there. So we want to make sure that we're inviting people far enough out that we get on their calendar.
Yeah.
So if this is a go and we can pick a date quickly, then we probably want to go ahead and start getting some buzz.
Mm-hmm. I think it's great. I don't know if that's something we need to vote on or what, but
I don't think it's
From my
actionable, right?
perspective, I think it feels like there's much more of a mission statement to what the purpose is.
Great.
It feels
Yeah,
good.
that was one of the things we struggled with when we were still attempting to hold out in that time period of like defining what it was and kind of seeing where there were some successes in the older version and where there weren't. And I think this like really fully rebranded and redefined what it is more clear is really exciting and more manageable than something that was a little more wishy-washy.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah.
Thank you for all your work on it. Yes.
Great. Maybe we could look at dates when we look at our meeting,
Yes.
when we're gonna meet for next year. That'll be down on that's next. Discuss potential meeting dates and locations for 2024 and take appropriate action. So Bonnie and I were talking about maybe moving to the historical park, since we've been here for a while, and meeting there, or we used to bounce around a little bit more. We even talked about meeting at the Mansky again. So how do you all feel about moving around a little more? Fine, yes, good.
That's fine.
All of those are-
Change it up a little bit.
Change it up a little bit.
So, can I just
Yeah,
say one thing?
please.
So the agenda looks a little bit different, and it's because I've been blessed with a coworker who's been doing Granicus and inputting agendas for 25 years, and she is willing to help me as I struggle with this. So She's added memos to each item, line item. So there is one that, we went through with the dates, and I know we meet the third Wednesday. We did change a couple, like Thanksgiving week, or there was one or two. So we did put proposed dates in there. So if you just, look through the agenda, if you see it, the dates are already listed, and we can look through them and yay or nay the dates, and then we can go back and decide, do we want to do 2 months at the historical park, switch it up, how you all see that? Yeah.
So do y'all see that page with the dates on there? It's like the fourth, on the back side of the fifth page. So January 17th. Are you thinking, well, I think it'd be nice if we met at the place you thought we would have the artist exchange might be, if we're gonna do it at a Farmers Branch location.
Wait, say that again.
I was saying if you wanted to meet January 17th, and that could be our first meeting before the artist exchange, and it could be at the location that you all were thinking about, just so we could kind of scope it out.
I think that sounds great.
Is there
A preference?
preference?
No, I don't. I think we need to wrap our heads around a bit more, like, is there a location that makes more sense for that?
Okay,
Not just yet.
I mean, I think the library makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
for
We
the
can go
meeting
ahead.
we're doing,
for the
But for the
exchange.
interchange too.
for the
Exchange.
exchange. I think the library makes a lot of sense.
Do you want to meet there first meeting?
Well,
Or can
so
we?
I think what we should do is just if the dates look good, and then we can pencil in, then I would have to check if they have availability.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So maybe start at the library, the 17th?
Well, I think we're just checking on the dates real quick first, right?
Oh, sure. Y'all want to check on the dates?
Dawn, when is spring break? Sorry, I'm searching right now.
It is the week before, we're good.
The week before.
Great.
That May date is not gonna work for me.
Yeah, I was running these against our production calendar randomly this past year. It was never a conflict, but I think a quarter of these are all like the day before a show. It's rough for me.
So would we move the date, the May date forward or back? What's better?
Either one is better, but I would think the 22nd might be more time in between meetings.
The 22nd would be better because graduation is the week before.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Graduation.
So May 22nd?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, as of now, everything feels okay with me. Anybody else have conflicts that they foresee?
No.
June and October are both a little rough for me, but I can't imagine ultimately both of them being ones I would have to miss, so. I think keeping the uniformity is worth a potential risk on my part, probably.
Okay, I don't mind moving either one, but
Hold on.
June, for me, June would be best moved back, and then that's really close to the meeting beforehand if we're already moving forward a week.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
If October was a week sooner, that would.
Let's
that
do
would
the
work very-
9th.
Yes, that would work well for
that's fine with me.
me,
Everybody else?
yeah.
Dawn? Dawn and Dawn?
Mhm.
So what is the October date, the
October
9th?
9th.
The 9th. Yeah,
Okay,
Good.
And since and take appropriate action, does that mean to vote or?
well, do we have to do the, locations too,
Yeah,
to take the appropriate action? If we vote on them, like they're set in stone, or can they be changed within a month or two of?
I'm gonna let her in.
I would probably take it as to decide on, you'll change dates, now decide on your potential locations, and then go back and check to make sure those locations are available, and then next month actually vote.
Oh, okay,
You don't have to, as it does say, take appropriate action. You can make a motion to accept with the stipulation that we're gonna verify these dates and locations, we'll work for the venues, and come back and finalize next month.
okay, that sound all right?
But I work out all the details, if y'all decide which locations and all, and then you can check with them to make sure. I'm like, for me, reading through all these dates, I don't see any conflicts with the historical park on any of them.
Okay.
But I can't speak for the rec center or library.
Yeah.
Do we, oh, great, right, camera. Do we need to, as a group, try to assign the locations, or whoever's ultimately booking, can y'all just do it make sense? If
Oh, I see what you, like, yeah,
it's just kind of what we're saying, just like,
Or do we
Hop
just
around.
throw out ideas, like if you wanna meet in
Sure.
CFB at the Fine Arts Office, you can use that one. If you wanna use the firehouse, we can use that one. If you, you know, throw out this potential and then be secure, I don't know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's a lot of places to come up with.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I get the moving around, I understand that, but I think it also starts to get confusing. You know, where are we going, what are we doing? I think we maybe need to have a little bit of consistency in some way, and maybe narrow the options down a little bit, so we're not, it's anybody's guess where we are this month.
well, last month we talked about, here, right in the Pecan Room, the Historical Park and the Dotson House, and then the library. Those were the three
I
that were,
think let's lock it down to those three.
Yeah.
Lock it down, and
Right.
maybe even if possible, go quarterly or something, so you know you have a little bit
Yes.
of consistency. Because I know this sounds silly, but travel time is a little bit of an aspect, where I love the idea of going to the Dotson House. I think that's a great idea, that's gonna add a few more minutes, so I just need to plan ahead. So maybe whatever quarter we wanna do the historical park, let's lock that in before they book stuff up.
all right, well, do we want to stick with the library first for the first maybe two?
Well, we probably need to find out what's available,
And
is the
see.
problem.
Right, that's what I'm saying, but we're gonna present these dates to them, they're gonna let us know if they're available.
Yes.
All right, first two meetings will be at the library. I'm just make some decisions, and y'all can say yes or no.
We've had
How's that sound?
3 different venues,
Yeah, library,
so let's
I think we're
do
going to the library first.
3 at the Mansky, 4 at the historical,
Well done.
3 at, what was the other place?
Here at the rec center.
Or
what's Dotson House? What is that?
that's at the Historical Park.
Oh, that's
It's
the
the,
historical
it's
park,
the home of the first mayor of Farmers Branch.
Ah, there you go.
And it's where I had my wedding reception.
Mm,
Oh,
it'll be nostalgic for
It
you.
will be very nostalgic.
how about Mansky?
So you did
Mansky,
3
historical,
Mansky?
Historical, pecan.
let's do 4 at the historical park.
Okay, got it.
So after library, it's the Historical Park?
Mm-hmm.
So April, May, June,
August.
and August.
And then rec.
So we'll have the staff look at the options and then vote on it next month. Sound good? All right, moving on to, are you good, Dawn?
Yep.
Okay. The CFBISD art show at City Hall.
understanding it will be under renovation still. So we will not be able to have it at City Hall, so we'll just need to look at other options.
Okay.
And the dates of that is?
That is usually the first week of like March. And we usually have it up for about a month. So that particular time frame, so I don't know if we wanna,
Is the library still able to do stuff like that? Like,
we're gonna have another art show there, the Farmers Branch Carrollton Art Association. We're gonna be doing the Mansky Library this year. Because again, City Hall's under renovation, so we're gonna try that one there, and then we could possibly try this one there
Yeah.
as well.
Will the event center be built by March?
We don't have a definite date yet of the grand opening, so I don't wanna say yes and it not be ready. Now, that week also at the Historical Park, we have our, Mad Hatter Tea and also the Dotson House would not be available. Cause is it all week long, the show?
It's about a month.
Oh, it's a month long, yeah. Okay, that won't work for a month.
We usually have it up for about a month. And it's usually up for Texas Big Art Day.
Sure.
That we're gonna do, and we'll do the rocks.
Yes,
And you told, that's that Thursday,
yes.
and the date is,
I'm gonna say it's March 7th.
yes, I think that was right.
And, I'm sorry, you said earlier, when is spring break?
Spring break is March 11th to 15th.
Okay.
And Texas Big Art Day is March 7th. So if we have, like for the month, at least the month of March, the art show, that would be great.
And how much space is needed? So when it's done in City Hall City Hall lobby, did it take over the entire
We
lobby?
actually did pro panels in both of the corners of the library, and that was plenty for what we needed.
So it's panels?
The pro panels,
Okay,
yes.
okay,
And
that's
so all the
pretty much
artwork
good.
is
Okay.
Velcroed up onto the
Yeah, okay.
panels. And then I just gave a specific amount to all of our Farmers Branch schools.
Yeah.
So at elementary schools, I told them, okay, you get 10 pieces of artwork, and then I went and picked them up, and I displayed them for about a month, took them down and returned them.
okay.
So is that something that I need to talk to Trevor about, or is that something, okay, so I'll reach out to
And-
Trevor on both of those.
Yes, and if you would like me to walk through with you again, I can meet you over there. Whatever you need my help with on that.
Because I think they have their own pro panels now, correct?
I
So,
thought they did.
yeah.
All right, again. So the next big thing is, they've received the plan of work from 2022 to 23, and then work on our goals for 23, 24. So on the next page, if you look at your agenda, it's so lovely, it's all typed up. Start with Amy and Owen and the artist outreach, which will, that first one will now be the artist exchange.
Make it there.
Promote artist directory, which will be sort of adding to it. Arts night at city council, is that something you're still talking about, or?
No.
Okay.
And I don't even know what that just Arts Day is.
Well,
These all kind of meshed into a singular thing, and even
Arts,
that's in.
the original intention on Arts Day could be an extension of the artist exchange. I think we're pretty much doing it with Branch Arts Live, but our goal was for that day to expand and not just be dancers. That's just the best way we could accomplish it this year. So I think once we have our event, we'd like to relook at that and hopefully incorporate some other art forms from people we've met on our database and people we've met at the exchange that can be musicians that are out there or painters that are up there working on a work in progress or something like that. But I think we need to get through these first two events and then see if it's manageable to add that last component onto it. So I would like to still revisit that, if at all possible, not let that slip off of our calendar, but we're not ready to implement it yet.
Yeah, I think it'd be great for your next year plan of work to then just say maybe grow France Arch Live.
So we're
that's-
basically doing the Arts Day, it's just a different format for this
Sure,
year.
yeah. And then, so we were talking that maybe we would have, take these home, these goals, and if you have more that you want to add, and then we'll discuss them fully next October's meeting, so that you have a little more time to think. But I just thought we could together kind of edit what we have from this past year and decide what we can cross off and maybe potential add-ons.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
and if we bring it all together next month, then in November, we can vote on the plan of work and, have it ready for January, which, trying to stay ahead, so. I
Yeah,
think
that
that's
would be
good.
great.
Yep.
Okay, arts and public space, Don and me and Don. Conservation budget, we haven't really done anything with that, but we talked about figuring out what state the art was in, right? We were talking about hiring somebody at some point.
Well, that was an option.
Yeah.
So I haven't had the opportunity or maybe the opportunity to visit each of the sculptures or any other medium.
Yeah.
So I can't really speak to the condition. I do keep an eye on the pieces that are out front.
Yeah.
And they seem to be weathering very well.
Mhm.
And a significant number of our collection is from the same manufacturer, the same foundry. So, all of that to say that it looks as though if these are a typical example of the condition of the bronzes, that not a lot of work is going to be needed anytime soon. So that's great.
Yeah, that's great.
If there are paintings and or photographs in the collection that are in sunlight, of course, they probably need some conservation, some restoration, and so we take a look at those. It's really just about going around and then making a checklist of the things that appear to need conservation and restoration, and then contacting someone to provide a proposal.
Yeah.
I can have the proposal done at no cost. There are a couple of folks who are interested in having the work, and so they'll assess and then charge.
So would you think that's really a thing where you do it on a need by need basis? And do we need a line, like, we don't have a budget, but, I don't know how that would even work, so we don't have a budget. So to have a budget for conservation seems,
Would it just be a recommendation to council to?
Well, so I think that my approach would be to determine which pieces needed and get an estimated cost. To do that and try to establish, an initial cash outlay expense that we could base future budgets on, because we have to have a history.
Yeah.
We have to begin with the history.
Right.
We have to create that history now, right? So I think that that's probably the way to do it.
okay,
And, it would be difficult to get a guesstimate on conservation costs for bronze. I think most of them are similar in complexity and scale.
yeah,
The ones that I have seen. So, the cost of doing one could be transferred to the other. That's fair and right. The more complicated effort would be, as I mentioned, photographs for
yeah,
painting or painted pieces, outdoor pieces. We have powder coated pieces. Those are consistently an issue.
yeah, I was thinking about the one we put in the Mustang Station with the vinyl, because those vinyls not gonna last forever, so,
No, but I would think that the cost of producing those, of printing those vinyls, probably wasn't particularly high.
yeah, I don't know, I didn't get a line item for that, but I wouldn't imagine.
Somewhere there's a price for that.
So, okay, well, that'll be more of a, so maybe for us, maybe making a goal of like just looking around
Taking a
more,
tour.
taking a tour. Don and I are gonna tour the
Another
city.
field trip.
Another field trip. West Side Art Trail installation, we are gonna keep working on that till those suckers are up. Wherever they may be put.
Was everyone aware of the change in the location?
No, so, we had a little snag that the land that we were talking about was a verbal agreement between the city and, whoever owns it, Valwood, Park Valway and whatever.
HOA.
The HOA. So Billingsley is gonna, you tell it, I'm not really involved, but we're gonna move the pads
Yeah, we don't
to
have-
Billingsley.
We don't have access to the original sites as we thought we did. We can't get the easement. It's owned by an HOA, so there are all sorts of reasons for that not being available. So fortunately, just down the way, in that same stretch, and I think in the corner, I don't have the direction, I think probably the northeast corner, if
Yeah,
you're,
800 feet.
if you're at the terminus point where
Okay,
Commerce
print it to
runs into Valley Parkway,
Mm-hmm,
where the first sculpture was gonna go, the center sculpture,
Mhm.
if you were to take a right and go down toward the other corner of the water, in that vicinity is a parcel of land, 40 by 80, I think,
I could pass this around, but it's right here in this corner.
that Billingsley owns and is willing to allow sculptures to be placed. So
Great
we're
solution.
working out the technicalities.
that's so great, yeah. So that'll be, in the next coming months, maybe they have to do a survey, right? Land survey?
So, in a letter of form has been requested of Billingsley to submit to Maria. That request came today. So that's in process. And we'll be able to, I think, by the end of the week, that might be a little optimistic, but certainly soon, have all the information that she needs in order to provide us with the information that we need,
Okay,
which would be limits of liability and a couple of other.
Yeah.
So once that's done, we can move forward with the relocation of the pads.
that's great,
Determine the arrangement, move forward with the installation.
okay.
And then I have, just to add to that, as far as the artist side of it, I have emailed each artist and spoke to Brandon. And so they have turned in their COI, their artist statement, condition report. Jeffy has turned in his condition report. I do have quotes on all three. So we are moving forward, even though the agreements have not been drawn up yet. So while this other is being resolved, which is, it sounds pretty quickly, we're moving forward with them, just having all the paperwork in order. So then when we get the go and the agreements are drawn up, that we're able to move quickly. Maria did suggest maybe to, based on their artist statement, if we wanted to look at their, kind of plan out the plaques and maybe move forward with that, how we want to word it. So if I can send you all the plaques, the artist statement and how we want to lay them out. And what I did learn from doing the You Are Beautiful, which is on the schedule to be installed, so it'll be official. He said if we sent him, like you did at the end, exactly how you wanted it on the plaque, have it spaced and
The layout,
the layout, he said that's much easier. I think we went back 5 times with a proof, but you said that wasn't too bad for my first time, since sometimes it goes much longer. I felt like by the 5th one, I'm like, oh my goodness, I
gotta be
need to get better at this. But if we can lay it out for them, and then it only comes back once or twice. And so since I have no idea what would go on the plaque, we could start with the artist statement and then add to that. Is that something you all would be willing to?
yeah, oh, yeah. If
Okay.
you could send the template, did they
Yes.
send you a template for it?
They just sent me like a statement written up.
No, the company,
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be the standard. We want to kind of be consistent throughout the city on what the template is, so yes.
Yeah. I don't know that we need a full statement, but just a snippet or.
Well, they
quote
have,
or
they,
something.
like, one did a paragraph, one did a couple, and
Yeah,
I don't know how you pick and choose what goes on the
Well,
plaque.
if we think it's best to paraphrase, we'll ask them if that's
Okay.
okay and get their permission. You know, worst case scenarios that we decide that it's just best to do basic information
Okay,
as is on the, love lock, not love locks, but You're Beautiful plaque.
okay.
Yeah, without the, description.
And then do you ask for approval from the artist, or no, we don't, since we have it?
Right.
Okay, so then I will email you the 3 artist statement, and I will try to get some kind of template, I guess, that Rocky had sent something.
Well, we have the template for the one that's already been made.
Okay,
And so we can follow that format.
yes,
And then, there was enough verbiage on You Are Beautiful to arrange the font of these potential statements to fit the plaque. I don't think we need to ask for anything, we have it all.
you have the templates already.
Well, we can just follow the one that was sent.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah, and then so what I'll do is I'll just go in the Word and reformat it, make some notes, what needs to be italicized, all that sort of stuff.
great.
Send it off to him.
Yeah,
And we can move forward with that, and if we have that in place, then once we get all this other solved.
Then we need to determine whether or not, and forgive me if I'm not remembering, put it on a stand or to adhere directly to the floor.
Yep, the You Are Beautiful was put on a stand, I think it was 18 to 24 inch, however you say, it's exactly that, yeah.
Right.
And we put it on the diagonal, or I gave them your exact diagram to our parks guys, and they said, great, they put it on the schedule, and haven't gone by there, but hopefully I'll hear from Mark, and he'll tell me when it is installed.
I'll mention that when I install plaques, the method depends upon the location, amount of traffic, and the type of traffic. So if it's in a public area where there might not be a lot of shenanigans, put it on a stake, right, on a bracket. If it's in a location where, there are lots of younger folks, whatever, then I tend to either put it on a stone, almost flush with the ground, or on the floor itself, just to prevent pushing the feet and that sort of rocking back and forth. So,
yeah. I was gonna suggest that maybe it could be, since it doesn't seem like a heavily trafficked area.
so have it on the stand,
No, on the on the
on the floor.
board.
So, I do know Rocky, who is with the plaque company, ARK, I think is, he did say that could be decided at a later date. So once we design the plaque, you all could, hopefully by then, move forward in the process, and we could decide what kind of base and mounting we want to go.
Great.
Good.
What material are the plaques made out of?
It's stainless.
Stainless.
Yeah, stainless, yes. It has an engraved font
Oh, nice.
with black infill.
Very nice. This one look great.
Yeah. So we'll add that to our planning board.
Okay.
Proposed art for acquisition, I don't know what that was about.
Well,
Did we-
so we have a budget, and we haven't spent much of it. So it seems to me that we either decide to roll these dollars into next year,
Yeah,
or consider some acquisitions on occasion,
Mhm.
just to add to the collection.
yeah,
So, one approach is to have a site-specific idea in mind, which I don't think we have at the moment.
mhm,
And the other is just to build a collection that we can pull from once the site is chosen. But that requires, storage.
storage, yeah.
Which we may not have. In any case, I just think about, building the collection that the Farmers Branch owns,
Mhm,
and the best way to go about that, so
mhm.
just worth
Thinking about,
bouncing around.
yeah. We'll keep that on our plan of work then too,
For 2024.
for 2024. And then the tip 2 area art in the Liberty Plaza, that was nixed. Because that was not the correct information. Or, I don't remember what happened, but that money
The money didn't exist.
Didn't exist, right.
It meant to leave.
Mm-hmm. The only other thing I thought maybe we could just have on there as, just to still have it on there, is the small little park that we were talking about, the art park.
yeah,
That bit of land
By the Starbucks.
by the Starbucks. So. Okay, committee administration and oversight. David?
I think we should leave the Arts District signage and branding, on there. We haven't really done much with the cross-committee planning,
Yeah.
so I think that can come off. Haven't really spent any time on strategic planning.
No.
As we've been doing, but that maybe should stay on there.
Yeah,
And, I suppose the budget funding should stay on there.
yeah. And then grant making and funds development.
I think all of those, well, the first two are still good. I'm not sure what the FB Arts Organization's funding survey was. I thought maybe that was done back before I joined. Don't know. Because this was, I want to say this was all Scott's list of.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we just sort of rolled it over.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not sure what,
I wonder, I can't remember. I wonder if it was,
my recommendation is we take that one
take it off, yeah.
But I did begin what I'm calling the sister cities comparison analysis. Where, we're looking at all the other cities and we have the grid started with that. I got the Dallas information last time. I think I now have Richardson.
Mhm.
And so I think that probably ought to be on that list.
Mhm. Have you heard anything from Plano, or do you have anything from them?
I don't have anything planned.
I know it's pretty big, but I just did a show there at their arts art center. Anyway, I know a few people, I just found out that I know a few people who are on their arts board. And it's really interesting. They're very separate from the city, but they are a recommendation to the city, but they've got their own funding source and a huge nonprofit they're having a huge banquet next month to raise money and.
Well, that's how I got the idea for the Arts Day, is it was through that organization that did an Arts Day event.
Yeah,
So they are their own entity.
yeah.
It'd be great if you could either get a contact or get a
Yeah.
packet or something, a website, something.
Definitely, yeah, I'll reach out to them because I've been asking questions, sort of like, how are you doing all this? And, but they have like $1 million budget.
Yeah.
I don't know where that comes from, but it's a big city, but still. Yeah, I'll try and get you some more information about that, yeah. Okay. I just didn't know if you had already had contact.
No, I have Richardson, I have Dallas, Robert had given us Dallas
Mhm.
at the last meeting. I think I have Garland. Some of these actually have their own arts and culture strategic plans, which is what the Dallas one is.
Mhm.
I would guess that probably Plano has their own arts and culture strategic plan.
Yeah,
So maybe if I just dig around on the city's website, it'll take me over to, to that. But I know I've dug around on some of those and haven't been successful.
sometimes, yeah, you just hit a brick
Yeah.
wall, because I've looked at Plano's too, and I
Yeah.
can't quite get beyond a certain point, so, okay. Anything else you're thinking about for that? Okay. And then festivals and contests. Dawn, you're all by yourself now.
I am.
Oh my
We've lost
goodness.
a few.
Amy's been
Yeah.
good.
Okay,
Amy's been
yeah.
helping me, but yes, I lost Gail and Eve, so yes.
Mhm.
Obviously, all of that would probably continue to do, not the Pioneer Festival, that was,
Yeah.
we've kind of turned that into Branch Arts Live, and Amy's helping with that. Just to let y'all know, that's happening October 22nd, so hopefully everybody will be there. If you can, to come out and support. Right now, we have, I think, 16 already registered, submitted their information to perform. I know there'll be several more, so we hopefully should have a full, 1 to 4 time slots for everybody to come out and perform. And you know, Hillary and Bonnie are doing an excellent job with, you know, working with me to make sure we have everything taken care of at the historical park. And as Amy talked about earlier, that is something that we would like to grow for the 2024. And that rather than it being strictly dance, that hopefully that will then turn into more of an arts festival.
I'd love to see musicians, like I said, painters out there doing works in progress. I think it'd be interesting to have some theatrical, you know, some short little scenes or something like that, some vocalists. I'd just love to see a wider range of things. And, you know, we talked and we have some fascinating musicians that live in Farmers Branch, that it would be neat to have some of those groups out. I think the benefit would be, it could be a neat event for our community and draw in people from outside of Farmers Branch, bring in a lot of outsiders. I also think it would give the artists participating an opportunity to be seen, and possibly one of their asks was, you know, more opportunity to be seen, to get out there in the community, and maybe they'll get hired off of it. You know, if we recommend everybody bring your business card because somebody might want to hire you for an event off of it. So I see it being, like I said, kind of a partnership between festivals and contests and the Artist Exchange, really kind of growing that program.
And we need to see how, I mean, I really don't want to kill Bonnie and Hillary this year, because going from bluegrass to the logistics
I
of
know, bless
that,
your heart.
it just sounds
Horrible.
awful. And I just hearing it, yeah, I'm just like, oh, so exactly. So I'm hopeful that maybe we can look at a different time schedule or something that we can do for the future to help y'all out, because I think that's just going to be a very challenging weekend for y'all. So if it's something that we can, you know, move to a different day, and I know that we were kind of locked in of trying to get a stage that was ready put in place. So just after maybe the event, we can kind of look at it, talk about it, and figure out maybe some other options for moving forward.
And have an idea of really what the event might cost, so we would have time to start doing some fundraising or getting some sponsorship or something like that. That would be really helpful to know the back end of it, the money part of it. Because if we have like over a year, or if we have a year, we might be able to get some donations. And I'm just talking out loud.
Right.
Would you ever offer a contest like the top 3, you know, dance companies or
To be honest
artists?
with you, I would really love for it to grow so much that we get to be selective with who performs, so it becomes, you know, still look at diversity, that piece of the puzzle, but,
Right.
you know,
But that you end up with more higher quality.
Right, because this year I think we'll end up, you know, making sure that everybody has a time slot, but eventually it would be nice to pull in the draw, so then you do have people coming from all different areas, because they're like, you know, the quality of work is just so great. And we have great stuff. I mean, I know,
Yeah.
because I know several of the directors that have submitted stuff, so I know it's gonna be wonderful.
And are the artists, you mentioned painters, musicians, and then with your artist exchange, are all of the artists need to be Farmers Branch residents?
Well,
Or
at this, what we did for this particular event is we kind of opened it up, because I think we've got some Carrollton groups as well.
We do, we have Carrollton, Farmers Branch, the Dallas Dazzlers.
Yes.
And then, I mean, I even reached out to the studio where my son, in Coppell, you know, so.
Yeah, so we were not trying to just make it just Farmers Branch. We were trying to open it up a little bit, but obviously it was who we had contact with.
We went,
I was just curious.
we went with our contacts this time, and we hope that, you know, I mean, we are encouraging everybody to stay, and so if they have a good time and it's a beautiful day, we're hopeful that then it will grow from there. Because if they have a good time and they enjoyed themselves, they're gonna remember it and they're gonna wanna do it again, and then they'll right now, it's the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going into the unknown, so it's not gonna be talked about.
Right, but I do think we like the aspect of opening it up, certainly because part of what we're basing this is kind of a hybrid event that doesn't exactly exist anywhere, but we're partially basing this on, at least a dance component, on a Dance for the Planet event that the Dallas Dance Council used to do. And it was a big deal, and they brought in people from Dallas, Fort Worth, from all over for this event. It was a huge thing, and
It was master classes.
Yes.
And vendors.
classes and
I mean,
workshops and all kinds of things.
It was
And-
big, it has the potential to.
And we'd love to see that, but encompass different art styles, and as we're saying, make this a destination for people who are interested in seeing all these different art styles, but also make it a destination for artists, where it's an honor to be a part of this event.
Mm-hmm.
So that's work in
Like the-
progress, but
The
that would
Dallas
be.
Dance Gathering or
Ye-
whatever, I think that was the title. What, Dallas Morning News Dance Festival. Remember that?
Oh,
When it was
yes,
that-
back in the,
That
yes.
was kind of more an elite thing where you had, not only your community members, but you also had your professional companies. And
Yes, we had talked about, bringing in professional companies at some point, yeah. So we'd love to see this continue to blossom and grow. I think funding is gonna be a critical component of it, so at one point, and I didn't focus on it, but were we still looking at a nonprofit? Yes. That's still on our grant making, so that would be a,
Well,
That
and
would
then
be a
also,
tie-in.
well, and also with this though, right now, it's small enough to be managed by, a small group of people.
right.
The bigger it gets, the bigger the beast is.
Well, would you ever charge like an entrance fee to register your group?
I mean, that could be something in the future that's,
Well, there's
A
obviously
possibility.
a lot of possibilities, whether it's that or
Right.
an entrance fee into the performance. there's
there's a lot of
potential-
different ways we can, that's why I'm just curious, I would love for us to keep good track of numbers and things so that we can, as we grow, continue to form ideas of, okay, now how do we fund this?
You'd be really good, at least for this one coming up, is to do a survey for who's attending, because that's been a big thing. We can get the actual words
So
from attendees.
we can just do a QR code to that and have that, because we're gonna have a check-in table. And we can just have the QR code posted on the check-in table. I think Owen and I have asked this question before, so can we just do our own survey, or does it have to go through a city system to do something like that?
I thought Maria had said that you were able, whatever you had,
The answer was we could.
yeah,
We can't, okay,
That's
so,
right.
Dawn, I'll get with you, but I'll try to come up with something and send that to you and see what you think.
That would be great.
Okay.
All great ideas. So hopefully
Exciting.
we'll see how it goes and then we'll,
Very exciting.
and can I just touch on the electrical boxes? Because I did
Yes.
get an update from Rachel Johnson, and the PO is open, it's ready to go, they're ready to install. She just has to reformat the artwork to be able to fit the dimensions of the electrical boxes. So she's hoping to do that very soon, in the next couple of weeks, so then we can move forward with that and get them installed.
Great.
and
Yeah.
then where do we stand with moving forward with for an additional contest maybe in?
I think it's great to put on the plan of work for 2024. I would definitely keep that on and see. And I did ask her, because since she's reformatting them, because these are traffic signal, they're different.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just learn as I go. But can we check a box and say, these are the
Right, yeah, we need more.
Yeah,
Right.
just to make her job easier and not as time consuming to then have to go in and reformat if we,
And I think it
Added
was
that.
lack of our knowledge too, that we picked traffic instead of.
Oh, yeah, I didn't, have any idea there was a
We
difference.
just had little circles or something to pick from, we didn't really.
so we're all learning,
Yeah.
together,
So
but.
we know that, because I think we had the dimensions and stuff on this one.
Or
but it was
electrical boxes.
Electrical boxes.
Correct, and these are traffic signal boxes, so
yes,
a little bit
well,
different, they're formatting's a little bit
So now we
different.
should know both of them,
I think
and
so.
so we need to make a decision on, this will
Yeah.
be electrical box
Mhm.
contest, and this is a tractor play.
Yeah.
Is it known how the previously installed graphics are wearing?
Oh, the ones we did earlier?
I can ask about it. I mean, I drive by them almost every day, the one by the library, and they look in great shape, but, I was told, what, 2 to 3 years?
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
something like
I
that.
But
was
that
just
was-
wondering about the expense of prepping the surface for these. You know, which can be extensive if that's part of our budget,
Mm-hmm.
and who does that?
That's a good
Well,
question.
Does the city do that?
The rack.
Whoever wraps
Yeah.
it, does it?
I will ask that
Yeah.
question. Who wraps,
Who preps?
Who
the
preps
surface for
the-
that?
who preps?
I'm curious to know what the coating material and the UV protection and everything, because that will also go into what you're saying about fading and the upkeep and conservation work, which should be built in there with UV coatings and
Typically,
protection.
I'd be shocked if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It would be gone in a summer,
Before that,
yeah.
it is so damaging.
And just to add to that, just a fun note, Hillary and I, we were able to go to Boise last week for a conference, and I took a walking tour, and it happened to be the director of the Arts and History Department, which is under the umbrella of the city of Boise. And they have 216 electrical boxes wrapped.
Wow.
So every corner, so downtown is very walkable. I don't know if you've been to Boise. It was my first time. It was kind of exciting because, Boise, let's go, right? And every corner, downtown is very walking. It's very manageable. It's not overwhelming. You feel like you can there's a great restaurants and great shops, and on every corner is an electrical box and it's wrapped. They've been doing the program for quite some time, that they're now going to the second round of the ones that are now needing some conservation. They're doing a call out to continue doing like round whatever they're on. But I asked how many, 216
That's awesome.
around the Boise area.
Mhm.
But that was a lot.
It'd be interesting to know more about their selection process and how they.
Yeah, they do an open call, and on some of their bigger I think most of these I think it was a 60-40, Idaho. Some of their bigger projects, they do a national call. I did ask the director, she actually did the walking tour, the director of the department, and, but the smaller ones, they like to stay within the state, and yes, they're in Boise, but I think they do an open call in the state.
There was a lot of public art.
There's a
Must have
lot of,
good number of themes, I mean.
I think the program's been established for quite some time, is the way, how I took it, that they have been doing it for a while.
We may want to take a peek at their process,
Mhm.
borrow some of their experience.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because the director of the whole department did the walking tour along with one of her colleagues was in charge of public art. So that was her job, that she oversaw the public art for the city of Boise. It was they were just interesting, and I felt like being such a novice that I just asked as many questions as you can on a walking tour. I didn't want to hog them while we're, walking and she's pointing out stuff, but I asked a few questions and got her business card, and she said she would be glad to share anything. So if we next month even come up with a few questions, I'll be glad to make a phone call to her and
That'd be great.
ask the questions.
I admit to being a little envious of your experience.
It was that great, and we're like, Boise? But we're like, Boise! On the way home, we're like, Boise!
It was with the American Association of State and Local History, ASLH. It's their yearly museum conference. So they're held all over the country, and this year's happened to be Boise. Next year it's Mobile, Alabama. So we were in sessions for 4 days. We did evening tours. Bonnie did a couple of morning walking tours. They had this fabulous, the last day, art at the park. Kind of remind me what you were talking about. It was an art festival with vendors selling and everything, but I didn't know a whole lot about Boise, but they really embraced their art scene. So a lot of public art. They have a public art walking tour, and I picked up the brochure, and we were very impressed with that. So we came back with a lot of ideas.
Nice.
So might be a good side trip to go do some at
Yeah.
some point.
All right. Okay, so do we feel good about festivals and contests? All right, so, for the worksheet, your homework, if you come up with other ideas, but if we need to fill this out, so if we could fill it out before we come, that'd be awesome, because then we could just edit what we need, but, filling out dates and potential, all the notes and everything, that would be great.
Natalie, I'm gonna propose, to consolidate the two.
Yeah, that's a great
I
proposal.
think we have 5 now, it seems like, and we're down 2 people.
Mhm.
It seems like 4 is more manageable. I mean, Dawn's by herself and sliding over.
Mm-hmm,
Even 4 times 2 is 8, and we've only got 7 people, so
Yeah.
it still is gonna require some of that. If one's out like tonight, Robert is,
mm-hmm,
it's still gonna require some cross, help. but-
Yeah. Do you want to consolidate
I'm thinking the 2 that I'm in, but then that may force like maybe the arts district stuff goes over into arts and public spaces. Right now, the signage and branding is under committee administration.
right, yeah,
It
that
could
could
easily
be,
be under art and public spaces.
Mhm.
It's what, I mean, I guess signage is kind of like
public,
art.
yeah,
The
yeah.
branding certainly would be art.
Mhm.
And the arts park, that's,
Well, there is a lot of crossover, even like the festivals, or the contests
Right, like
are,
the arts day kind of.
it's artist outreach, yeah, I agree.
it just seems like, I mean, I think even when I got on a year ago, maybe there were 6 of them. I don't remember.
I don't remember
But
either.
it seems like, as things progress,
Mhm. I think as we see what we are able to
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
I think, I agree, yeah, that's a good idea.
With who we've got.
With who we've got, yeah, definitely.
So will you bring your proposals in next month and then okay,
Yeah, we
perfect.
can.
Perfect.
Okay, and then we talked about it, our individual subcommittees, but is there anything that anybody didn't get to talk about during that time? Like, David, do you have anything else to add? Okay, I just want to make sure y'all had an opportunity. We're good? Okay. And then potential agenda items for next time. Is that right? No, sorry, discuss potential content for arts and culture newsletters. So we have one for this month?
This one is so we featured, Robert is in the spotlight for, September. And it's coming out in the next few days. He's September. And what he submitted, I sent to Rachel Johnson, and she came up with a nice article on Robert. So that'll come out here any day.
It
Right.
came out on the 1st of this month. Already have it.
September? Okay. All righty, yeah. I guess I submit late the month before and then it comes
Yeah.
out. Mhm.
So, for the city, so that's.
Okay, so it's already out.
Yeah.
Good. I think it was terrific.
Yeah.
And
It
then,
had our brain chart slide in it.
yes, it did.
They're doing great.
Trying. Yeah.
No, really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, trying. And then for October, it was discussed that potential CFB, ISD, fine arts teacher And Paloma Nadine, who is a high school art teacher at R.L. Turner. She was interviewed and questions were asked, and so she will be the October feature for the Artist Spotlight. And we do a lot with her. She runs a couple of camps with us in the summer called Artcella. I've been working with her for, since I worked at the rec, for probably close to 8 to 10 years now. So she came to me, and when I met her years ago, she had just moved in the area. She's like, I want to do art classes. I'm like, we want you to do art classes. And so we have a great relationship, and so she's going to be our feature artist, and she moved from DISD to CFB, and we all love Paloma, so that's the picture that you'll see, and she'll be our October spotlight.
So I think it would be great to plan 2 months out, so November, December.
You could reach
Suggestions?
out to, I hope I'm not giving the name wrong, Mike Stickley, who did the mural in the library.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
Mike Stickley, I believe, S-T-I-C-K-L-E-Y.
SCI.
S-T.
ST.
S-T-K-L-E-Y. If I had reception in here, I'd Google it. If I'm mistaken, I'll let you know. Do we need to mention anything about the relocation of the public art?
Relocate? No, I don't think so.
I mean, was there something said about the proposed location, now that that's changing, we need to?
Oh,
I think it's further along.
yeah. I really want to showcase them soon, but I would like to have more solidified answers and pads moved and.
I didn't know if something had already been said about where it's gonna be, now that it's moving.
No, because since it's in the same general area, it's only about 800 feet that it's gonna be moved over.
I think it'd be all right.
The same area, and I think, like Robert had suggested last month, to have, when they're doing the installation, to have, it recorded and, videoed and, kind of make a statement then. Yeah, I think that'd be great.
When are we gonna do the firehouse? Because we talked about that
Yeah,
as well. Do we wanna do
Well,
December?
we need it in advance for when does Miracle,
It's December,
but when does it open? You need to sell
I mean,
tickets
it-
before that.
November 30th or December 1st, one of those.
So if you do the
that-
December one, does that give you time?
or do you want it?
Yeah, because it mails out the very first of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
true.
Okay.
So what exactly would you be, featuring?
Well, I have a question about that.
Yes.
How, and I'll get to why, to how bound we are to it, like definitely being a Farmers Branch resident. Because the gentleman who is going to be playing the Chris Kringle role in Miracle has a really interesting story about he lives in Denton now, I think. And was in California for decades. But anyway, his uncle was a fireman there, so when he was a teenager, he was hanging out at the fire station, so there are some Farmers Branch connections.
Yeah.
Which could be a really cool story with this gentleman in particular.
And he sought us out, we didn't see, he contacted us like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And kind of told us the story.
Because he has a tie to Farmers Branch.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
I
do
think
that.
having a tie to Farmers Branch,
Because she doesn't
He's
live
a
at
Farmers
Farmers Branch.
Branch. Santa
What?
Claus.
I don't
so
live in
he
Farmers
does
Branch.
his-
I love that.
He
Spotlighted.
gets paid to be Santa Claus in December. So being in our show meant that he was giving up some of his Santa Claus gigs to be in our show.
Wow.
So that's why he was planning 6 or 8 months in advance, but he really wants to do this because of his tie to Farmers.
so you're gonna feature this artist.
Yeah, I think that could be a great
Yeah.
feature for
I-
the
I-
holidays. Yeah.
I think it's good, I think,
I'll talk to him, I will see him next week, I'll talk.
What's his
Okay.
name?
Yeah.
His name?
His name is Randall McCasland, Casland.
let's spell it one more time.
Randall, Randal McCasland, capital N, lowercase c, capital C again, ASLAND. Santa Matt.
Gasland,
Officially as well.
And that would be, he would be for
December.
December.
The artist spotlight, that's what
Yep.
we're calling it.
And then I also was given a suggestion of Alicio Garcia, who's the Farmers Branch artist and sculptor. Are you all familiar with him? Yeah. So we can talk about him for January. We could reach out to him.
I
So.
love that.
That would be great.
I would love to think about in the future a musician.
Yeah.
We don't have any, we haven't really done much with musicians, so if we could seek out one, I think that would be great for sometime next spring.
We had some great ones at the Artist Interchange.
I need to
Of course,
go
I
back
can't
and look
remember.
at the notes again,
I had great ones at my table. They were like really good.
but I think that would be
I can't
really
remember their names.
interesting.
Yeah, that would be great.
So I'll go back and look at my notes on that and see if I can find who might be a good choice for us. in
So
February.
Mike, the library, who did the library mural, who is going to reach out?
Farmers Branch, yeah.
Farmers Branch?
I mean, Firehouse.
Firehouse mural or the
No,
library?
library.
Oh, library, I'm sorry.
Library.
And it's Stilkey,
Oh.
Stilkey, not sticky.
Stilkey.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry about that.
I
Yeah.
met him, but I don't have his contact. I mean, I've
I have a secret.
The
Zoomed
city-
with him.
Bonnie, the city's the one who commissioned that with him.
Okay,
So someone, I don't know if it was the library, someone on the city
The library
Staff.
board.
did that.
okay, I will
I
talk
don't
to
think it was
Trevor
the
then.
library board, I think it was actually maybe the parks, I don't know, but somebody on staff contracted with him, just like you were doing contracts for the sculpture people. Somebody in the city on staff has it.
Would it have been Ben? He had a lot of hands in that
Yeah.
time.
It may have been Ben, yeah.
Ben, yeah.
Maybe, I don't, the library's kind of moved around.
Sure,
Over time.
sure.
So it could have been Ben.
Well,
Maybe
I'll
it was
start,
Ben.
I'll start with
It could have been
Maria
Ben.
and then
Yeah.
have her direct me. And I will reach out and see if we can get an artist spotlight or a little bit about him and a picture. And we were looking for November,
Yes.
They did a little bit when they unveiled that.
okay?
Yeah, I bet we have
So
a lot of the
there's
information.
probably a little bit of history there, but it wasn't, I don't remember it being like an interview type of situation. I just remember it was more like a bio and some of the pieces that he had done
Oh.
before. So, this might be an opportunity to do a little more in-depth. Use some of that and then,
Augment it with some more personal.
Yes. I love it.
That'd be great. Well, we did 4 months instead of 2, so congratulations to
Right,
us.
plus. Quick question, at the bottom of the Hello Farmers Branch thing, our arts and culture newsletter has unsubscribed. I'm just curious, do we have any idea how many people actually are receiving it? Or did we have a lot of people unsubscribe? Like, I was just curious about who all are we reaching?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure the number, we can find out from Rachel
I was just
Johnson.
curious, were we having a lot of people read this? Was this being ignored? I just felt like if we're putting a lot of time and energy, it would be great to know if it was being received.
Yes, I will ask and, yep, report on
I
it.
imagine they would have the metrics on if it's being opened as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah.
Just be interesting to know, because if it's like me,
If we
it's
just-
just us opening, we
We should still
could,
talk about it, but then.
that
it
could
needs to
probably
go
just
on.
be an email between them.
You guys just text each other.
Yeah.
Come on, more than 8.
I'm curious to see how many people will be at the Brain Tarts Live too, like,
I am too.
what is.
Like outside of the families and
I
stuff.
am too, I know.
Yes, outside of like, yeah, this is my friend, this is my parents' community.
Yeah. Okay, we good on that? I think we've got 4 months. And potential agenda items for the future. So definitely the plan of work. y'all will have your homework done, and we will discuss that. It'll be a big one. We will get a report back from Bonnie about rooms availability, the library, historical park, and here for our next meetings.
Can we get an update on the Arts District sign toppers?
Oh, yes.
Marie did that last time. It seems like.
Yes, and I'm getting, invoices and stuff. She is moving forward with that, and, yes, I think they are,
In 4 weeks there ought to be.
yes, but I will ask her on that to see if she can give a report to me, so I can report on that. So report on the toppers signage type.
An update on the moving of concrete pads, or pouring new concrete pads for the West Side Art Trail.
Real quick, as I'm watching Don take a picture of this, can this get emailed to us as well? Like a blank.
Digitally?
I can scan it right now and email.
Yeah, no, I could definitely, I could send it to you, no problem.
I tried it.
So you want to, email,
Yeah, I got it.
yeah, oh.
What service provider do you use?
So was everyone okay with the agenda, the way it was sent this time? Was,
Yeah, it's great.
okay, I just wanted to make sure, I'm sorry I kind of just threw it out there, but, like I said, Kim has been so gracious to help me with it, and that was the format that they used, so just get used to that. So yes, I can email that to you, Owen, and then you're gonna email all that about the exchange.
You already did.
Oh,
In your
thank you,
inbox.
thank you so much.
So our October meeting is the 18th, is that right? For some reason I don't
Say
have
it
it in my
when-
calendar.
The date?
Yeah.
It should be right on the, your updated, committee.
October 18th.
Yep,
So that's right before the Branch Arts Live, so we'll have one more meeting before that. If anything comes up, I don't know.
Does anybody want to volunteer? You?
I would love to. I'm sadly gonna be teaching at the Nasher.
Sadly.
where are you gonna be?
What about?
Teaching at the Nasher Sculpture
Wow.
Center. They're doing a Great Create, and there's.
I'd like to audit your course, please.
So.
So, so are we gonna put that as a agenda item to do an update on the Branch Arts
Sure.
Run? Yep.
Well, does that just fall under committee reports though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah, because we'll bring something back too on ours, but that's just for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll definitely there'll be day of delivery for lighting.
Any other agenda items y'all want on there? Yeah, we'll have a committee reports, obviously. And that's it.
At one time, I thought there was some discussion about a mural on the restroom at the,
Oh, Hoya,
park.
yes.
Has that just fallen off the way? Or is that still on the agenda, or is?
That should probably be Arts and Public Spaces. So.
I can find out about it. Yep.
I'd be interested to find out what kind of funding there is for it.
My recollection was it was presented to us as this can't happen if y'all are into it. And I believe we were all like, yes, but yeah, so an update on that if that's happening
If
or
there's
not,
money.
and which part of this would be, need to know.
For Hoya.
Yep.
Oh, I'll give an update on the board meeting. chairs.
And I did ask Maria if they had a time and where, and not yet. Yeah, so I will let you know.
Okay.
And I did voice your concern about doing it in the evening, and she'll let us know.
Okay.
So you're gonna give an update on luncheon.
Okay. When y'all wanna,
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
there we go. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye, aye.
Excellent. Okay, thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
You
Bob.
gotta use your mouse, I think.
How do
I think you have to use your
I
mouse.
take it off now?
Your mouse.
Oh,
not a
you keep
touchscreen.
telling me that. Guys, I'm sorry.